See, all I ever wanted in this life was to be free. Free and beautiful just like those skies above thee. Free from all of this hostility. A soul whose presence would not go unnoticed in today's society. Hello, my name is Devon coming from the west side of Chicago, and these are the lyrics of my life. Everything I write is poetry. I'm told, even the way how I talk, it's like I'm poetry. Yeah. Like I'm reciting a poem or I'm rapping or I'm doing something. It's like, hey, how you doing today? People just really don't understand. The power of the tongue is very, 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 very powerful. It's more powerful than your actual actions. So if you understand the power behind your tongue, your words, you be more mindful in what you say and how you say things. Back then, music was music because back then we were stupid. Not necessarily being stupid is not being intelligent, but we embrace being able to make mistakes. Back then with the music, you made a mistake, so it came from a more natural place. It wasn't so overthought, and it hit every time. I'm scared to fall in love with hip hop, built in the heart of concrete jungles and sheetrock. I can't get enough of her rhythm when her beat rocks, but I can't seem to comprehend why all she's focused on now is how she hit these streets and beat these rocks. People used to get verbally mollywopped, now it's all about how her formula make young teens booty pop, get money, with their parents' syringe needles stuck in their veins, breaking in two with every encounter with these pavements, making their body flop. Crack babies. Hip hop. Do you not see that your love is fatally addictive? Can you not see that your presence is pleasantly manipulative? Because I remember when I first met you when I was 9 years old and wanted both our souls to grow old is how you stepped to me. In your true form of rhythm and poetry. Why? Why do you mask your integrity? As if the reason why you became this way is all because of me and it's not my queen. We could fall in pure love like old school DJs scratching records on turntables, rocking crowds with the way how we ride each other's beats, break dancing on cardboards in the middle of street side. Want you back in my life? Like bus stop and fire hydrants at summer block parties. Or front porch lemonade stand selling penny candy. Hip hop, I miss your kisses. Like my mother's early morning, be good at school wishes. I defended our lust with front to back 6-page letters to my teachers and parents. I felt the softness of your innocence every night before we fell asleep. Hip hop. We exchanged virginities long before my flesh met thee. And when it did, it was as if every petal that I plucked from your flower read that you love me. The only little foot in our land before time was the poetic ultrasound of the unborn. They say you died, but it was only the fetus of new life and inspiration. Niggas have now seduced you with the art of manipulation, making you a gangster who snap jams. Focus on ad-libs, cause that's what's Gucci, right? Talking text with silicone injected breasts, cause you're not a true bitch unless you're one of Nicki's Barbies. Or, if you own an unlimited bus pass to ride that short bus shouty, I want to impregnate you again. But I fear that my children will subconsciously be victims to their mother's newfound ignorance. Hip-hop. Whatever happened to keeping peace in my presence is how you stay pimped out. You're getting bust downs by bust downs. The same tricks you turn into kings and queens now have you selling your body on controlled puppet strings. Whatever happened to your passion for unity? Will we forever fulfill these prophecies of experiencing black love united eternally like our favorite color blue? Because I remember when that rainbow signified the joyful relief after the raging storm. Spectrums of light signified the many strengths of your character. Pots of heaven's gold created your rainbow. Not a flag weeded to your melodic matrix giving acceptance to acts of grown men sagging in skinny jeans and kissing each other in the mouth. You know, Lil Wayne niggas. Thinking approval is granted when you follow up with quotes unquote no homo. Like whack artists in life who think their status is based off of Facebook quotes or the latest trending topic on Twitter. A lot of today's MCs are not rappers. Newsflash, they're just soaking mics. Niggas are not acting too feminine. Now tell me, who's the dyke? Making me abide by your malicious acts wasn't right, cause all I ever wanted you to do was spread your angelic wings and take flight. That's why I hug your corners like Chicago hustlers didn't dope to hype side. Refuse to submit myself to you. In fear, you take advantage of my vulnerability. And you think you're playing the game, but the only one you're playing is yourself. Hip hop. I conquer many fears in this lifetime, but the most challenging one of all is the fear of falling in love with you. I'm scared.
My name is Macaire Cheney, and I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I write and produce HIV awareness things in place. Okay. And the moment that I say that, most people they tighten their body tightens up, and it's a funny feel to be in because it just makes people feel funny. They don't really want to talk about it. They don't want to be around it.
I mean, it's like I want to honor you for what you do. Using your art to champion a very necessary cause.
I started performing at little family reunions. We had a little we would do the talent show, and I would get up and I would read Maya Angelou's poetry because I didn't think that what I was doing was poetry. What Maya was writing was poetry. And I just would, get up there because I like to read, so I would just read it, and I never was really connecting. Exploring her soul and only finding a sign that read, closed for business, out for morn, and it's been 31 years and she still has yet to see me. I wrote because I was going through some stuff. I wrote because it was some things that was going on in my life that I may not have been able to, I didn't know for sure, or I may not have been able to talk about it, but I knew that it was things that was going on that wasn't right. So all I could do was write. And from there, all I did do was write. Even if you looked at me and I said, I'm fine, I'm great. If you picked up my journal or you picked up my notebook and you read, you would see, great to her and great to me may be two totally different things. The question was, what does being a star and artist feel like? And the first thing that ran across my mind said, it's like the insatiable appetite that's never quite fed, the deep thirst, the thorough world hunger, staring in your face but really round corners, bedtime prayers of, I only want to live according to my purpose, and you said I could be everything I want to be, though it might not come true. Missed prophetic projections of propaganda in the streets. Mass minds institutionalized off our harmonic synthetic meats like that mind can't even have a normal conversation without spitting forth facts. Too much to say by too little time, so ADHD by society regulations. How can you put a price to inspiration? When if I was to just touch one soul, I'll be peacefully laid. Every tear I shed along the way will be well worth the nights that kept me up writing just to say, my brother, come what may, I love you. My Nubian sisters, though the world continually attempts to demoralize you through your temples, you will always and forever be a me and you must never part sister of mine. To a starving artist, it's like your mind is a coded message where every word has endless meanings. Dictionary mazes conducted into reality. Scribble erase sentences, aim for perfection because I know I only have a few minutes in front of you. I want an infinite every second. Starving so cliched, they say it doesn't even exist. Sentences and metaphors stripped of their origin, showing divinity transcends generations. So excuse me, sudden change in dialect. My people come from many places. Being a starving artist is like starving for what most people consider work, while I say it's my passion, so I'll do it for free. Even if that means that my dreams begin to seem impossible to reach, I'll speak my way through boulders. Bold and bear every struggle. Who needs shoulders anyway? Knowing there is no greater joy to behold than having a young child say, I want to speak like that when I get older. I'll volunteer every hour in your honor. There are no job descriptions. It's simply worth it to work it, because I've been struggling for so long that food feels empty if I can't share it with few. Have you ever been called someone's favorite poet? Resignation so loud that griots spring forward. Century-old greetings of welcome children, we've been waiting for you. Come and take a seat in what these days are called an audience. To a starving artist, the arena seems different, yet we're facing the same problems. I mean, you really want me to talk about BET when HIV in certain places is less than 1 in 60 degree? When chances of certain minorities of getting their diploma is less than those getting their GED, while those same babies cite Trey songs but only know how to sing their ABCs. A poet is simply willing to die to save those degrees. This ain't starving, I'm just doing what God tells me to. Allowing him to minister to me by passing messages on to you. He's the potter, I'm just the clay. He's the army using my tongue to slay. You talking poetry while I'm citing prophecy. There ain't no starving in this because the journey is way more fulfilling than the meal. It's the only thing I know how to feel. Only in this place can I hear, and the rest of the world seems quiet. I ain't living for this. I die for it. Whew. Okay.
Like, man, to get out the guys, like, you're in Atlanta, you get your $25 MARTA card, or put $10 in your gas tank, and you can shoot down the urban grind. You can go to Joppa Monkey, you know, you can go to Apache and do some poetry. But when you start talking about going to North Carolina, going to Florida, you driving 100, 200 miles for $50 feature.
It reminds me of that comedy jam.
But sometimes that $50 feature may land you a $250
Exactly, and that's why.
So I do it.
We do it.
I do it, you know.
And we do it for the passion too.
Right,
You know, it's
right.
like I do it for the passion all day long.
Hi, my name is Black Rain. I'm 22 years old. I've been singing since I was 5 years old. But I first actually kind of really found my calling in music since I was about 12, 13 years old. I went across the deep blue sea, couldn't find one to compare to your grace, your love, your mercy. There's nobody greater. I believe that we have to reach every avenue that we can. Sometimes you do gotta drive to those small states.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do gotta drive to those small cities like Columbus, Georgia, and do some things.
Sometimes those can be the best experiences as well.
goodness,
You know,
yes.
and
Recently, last year, I went through a depression. Far as I didn't really want to do music anymore. I felt that the love of the music was gone. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to sing. I felt that it was gone until older gentleman told me, he told me that you got to keep going. That you have to appreciate the things that you have. Wherever you are, whatever you've been going through, God says the struggle is over for you. 'Cause you've been in this place long enough, and your mountainside has been rough. The struggle is over for you. The struggle is over. The struggle is over for you. The struggle is over. The struggle is over for you. You've been in this place long enough, and your mountainside has been rough. The struggle is over for you.
that just goes to show, what our purpose is for. Yeah. We're here to say the things that other people either don't know how to say or can't say or won't say.
Exactly.
You ever got off the stage and didn't want to talk about what you had just got to talk about?
Yes.
You be like
I got
that.
off the stage and then like literally go outside the building, go behind the bush
when
and
you
smoke
remember when you
cigarettes.
had said this line and you like this.
Yeah. I did say that. I didn't want to write it, but I couldn't help it.
Hey, I'm Avian from Decatur, Georgia.
It's funny to see when the times when I've done my most vulnerable pieces, the ones that are the most telling about myself and my own experiences. Those are the ones where people are like, "Yo, man, thank you
where our hearts beat loud like pianos smashing from rooftops to ground, smashing our hearts with waves against stern and bow, sailing from the Caribbean, but we never swam alone, nor together. What did we run to?
I'm saying like poets are preachers without the pulpit because like, man, when I start getting convicted about what I'm talking about, and I get into that zone and it's like there's a microphone in front of me, and sometimes they're like, whoa man, you're too passionate. We're just talking about pancakes, and I'm like, no, you don't understand.
I've been a poet most of my life. I started writing when I was 8 years old, and it's just been something constant with me throughout my whole life. And a particular time, I guess about 10 years ago, I was going through a whole lot of changes and a whole lot of growth, a whole lot of struggles, a whole lot of falling down too. And I found that not only writing helped me through it, but also the ability to express it and to be able to put my emotion and my passion behind it. And it's become, my source of healing and my offering to the world as well.
That just goes to show, what our purpose is for. Yeah. We're here to say the things that other people either don't know how to say or can't say or won't say.
Exactly. I get criticized about how deep I look at stuff, but it's like I can't help it. I'm sorry. Like this is what it is.
I get that too sometimes. You overthink things, and I'm like, have you not read the crap I write? Have you not read what I put on paper? I can't help but overthink.
Yeah. I'm analytical.
Everything.
Okay.
My greatest hope is to inspire people to want to change themselves first, and then to reach out and to affect change in the world. I write not only to inspire and to lift up myself, but also to do it for others. No one ever told her she was beautiful, disguised by the frown lines around her eyes and a blanket just soiled enough that she could blend in with the landscape. She was an oak tree. Her homeless shoulders and fingers stronger than the winters she weathered, whether or not she wanted them to be. Even when she wanted to be weak, she could only be as passive as the seasons allowed her to be. She was tenacity. She was a vine of ivy, clustered in the dark corners of a Presbyterian church, her bagged up belongings tangled and strung with streaks of tear stains that went from cheek to thumb knuckle to concrete. Clinging and climbing the brick walls like spider webs, she was rooted there. Transplanted from a past passed by like the faces of the passers-by, refusing to acknowledge that she was present. To them, she was just a root, shooting up and cracking the sidewalk they had to walk over her. Keep their eyes averted so their perfectly crafted conscience could stay protected, because if they never saw her, then she never was neglected, right? The crick in her neck was an anchor connected to her forehead, her head forever bowed low in humiliation, her eyes rolled up just enough to try to make eye contact. Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you help me? Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. The paralyzing sting of going unnoticed, injected like the needle of a spinal tap, sucking the sap out of her back. Once an upstanding citizen, now plagued with mental illness, doomed and deemed a public nuisance. Now bent over, her bones crooked and distorted from sleeping on the cold hard ground, she was an oak tree. Her words rendered silent like the whoosh of a cloud. There was nobody there to speak up for her. Nobody could see that behind her tree bark skin there was a cross-section of growth rings corroded by the evils of society. She was the backlash of humanity's bastardized compassion. Laughing, walking down the asphalt with $3 cups of coffee and smiles of plastic. She had had enough, so she grabbed her mask, cast it to the ground, and proceeded to beseech them. How can you love the least of these when you don't even see them? But the wind and the leaves grabbed her voice and carried it inaudible, like the whisper that she appeared to be. But she was an oak tree, hoping that one day she could cast her shade over gardens of forget-me-nots and forgotten memories. She spent her days in the sunshine so that when the nights came, she could remember that there was a flame that burned for her. Because no one ever told her she was beautiful. But somehow, she just knew it.
That's one of the things that I've come to realize is that we all are going through the same thing in some way, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
Writing is very therapeutic. No matter what form of fashion, whether you write journals, whether you write poetry, I cry on paper. And through that, even though it helps me, it's really not for me. Because like you said earlier, somebody else could read it, or somebody else could hear me perform, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I have literally like performed very personal poems just to relieve the stress off of my spirit. And somebody come out to me and was like, dude, like, I'm so happy I was in the venue tonight, because if I didn't hear that, I would have went out and done this.
Yes, and that's
or I would have been in another situation.
That's
like,
better
like
than the $50 you can get, man.
Man, like, that's sold into the universe. I mean, I may not be able to pay my tithes every Sunday, but doing this,
You right,
this
you
is my
right.
time right here.
Yeah.